After a 10-year break, Futurama is back with new weekly episodes over on Hulu, and I finally got a chance to give it a watch. Futurama is easily one of my favorite adult animated shows of all time. I've seen the first 10 seasons more times than I can count at this point, so needless to say, I was pretty excited for new episodes, and after watching the first 3 episodes of the Futurama Revival, the best way I can describe it is as simply more Futurama. It's not anything earth-shattering, it's not anything that needs to prove itself, it's just more Futurama. I can't help but compare the revival of Futurama to the revival of Clone High that we also got this year. And yes, I understand that these two shows got revived under drastically different circumstances. Clone High was canceled due to a weird controversy and never got a chance to have any more than one season. Futurama was pretty successful, but always more of a cult classic that got canceled multiple times, so it coming back again is really nothing new. They're two very different shows, but I think it is important to compare these two because for one, they're both revivals, for two, they're both adult animation, and for three, they approach things in drastically different ways. To put it simply, I think Futurama is an example of what you should do when reviving an old TV show, and Clone High is an example of what not to do. If you're going to do a revival of a cult classic TV show, your number one goal should be to recapture the magic of the original regardless of how many seasons it has. Clone High's approach was to try and change the show's dynamic, introduce new characters, go bigger with the story, and overall, the team behind Clone High's revival just approached the show in a different way than they did in the first season. The Futurama revival, on the other hand, feels like the show just started up again. Same characters, same world, but with new problems. It makes this new Futurama revival feel kind of safe in comparison to the Clone High revival, but at least it doesn't screw up creating a likable cast of characters like the Clone High revival. But if you want to hear me talk more about the Clone High revival, you can check out my full review I did on that new revival season. I'll have it linked at the end of this video. Back to Futurama. As for the characters in this new revival of Futurama, they all feel like they are progressing based on where they left off at the end of season 10, which is pretty nice. The voice acting all sounds great, with the only character sounding a little off being Zap Brannigan, but it wasn't too distracting. The first episode of the new season is definitely my favorite of the first 3 that I've seen. I liked the meta humor here, and I thought it was handled subtly enough for it not to feel annoying and blatantly obvious like some other meta humor we've seen in the past. And on top of that, I thought the premise for the episode was pretty funny. Fry feels like he's wasting his life and wants to do something meaningful, so he decides to try and watch every TV show ever made by strapping himself into a binge-watching suit. This first episode worked pretty damn well for me, even though I usually roll my eyes at meta humor. But then again, this is Futurama, a show that has leaned into meta humor before and seemingly always handles it in a funny way. The following 2 episodes after this pretty dang funny one are just fine, not great, not bad, just fine. There are some big laughs here and there for sure. It definitely still captures that Futurama sense of humor, but the stories of these next 2 episodes just didn't grip me as much as the first one. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that gripped me about the first one was kind of the novelty of it and the meta-ness of it, I guess. It just kind of felt like a stark jump going from this really meta episode addressing the situation that the show is in, and then the next 2 feel like regular old episodes of the show that frankly could have been put anywhere else in the series apart from some of the current humor, which we'll get into in just a second. It's just it's a little underwhelming. As for the actual plots of the next 2 episodes, the second episode of the Futurama Revival is about Kif and Amy having kids. It's perfectly fine. Not a good episode, not a bad episode, just perfectly fine. You could honestly put this one back in season 10 or even season 9, and I think it would work out just fine. The third episode and the final episode that I've seen so far is about the Planet Express crew going out to crypto country in a parody of both crypto and westerns and the gold rush, but the gold rush is crypto. It's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. I thought it was going to be way more cringy, but it wasn't. It was handled pretty dang well, I think. There wasn't a ton in it that made me go like, oh, I didn't want to roll my eyes ever or anything like that. It's fine. It was perfectly fine. It felt like Futurama talking about crypto in their weird Futurama way. Honestly, the biggest downside with this Futurama revival so far after seeing these first 3 episodes is there isn't a whole lot to say about them. It's just more Futurama. And if you're a really big fan of Futurama, I'd say give it a try, for sure. As a massive fan of this show, it's nice to see these characters again, talking about some current issues and being put in new situations with new problems. It's fun. It's just not mind-bogglingly insane. It's nothing that will blow you away. And if you've never seen Futurama before, absolutely go and give this show a watch. There are 10 seasons of pretty dang quality content all throughout that you can go watch right now on Hulu or whatever. So to have an extra season on top, it's nice. I don't think it's really necessary. That's one thing that I think this show has to prove over the next 7 episodes is a real reason for this show to exist other than we just wanted to do more of it. Because that's fine. But when I think of my favorite episodes of Futurama, episodes like Luck of the Fryish or Jurassic Bark, I had to dig deep for that one. That's the one with Fry's dog. There are a lot of really emotional, heartfelt episodes of Futurama. And I feel like this season needs to at least try to have an episode like that that really delves deep into one of the characters and brings forward some emotional moments. That's what made Futurama so special, is that while you could be laughing hysterically at all of these goofy things going on, they could come out of nowhere with a really emotional, heartbreaking episode that makes you learn way more about the characters than you ever had before. So hopefully they can make up for that side of the show, what I believe to be a lot of people's favorite side of the show, this rare occurrence where they really do these emotional, heartfelt moments. But we'll just have to wait and see if that's actually how it plays out. As of right now, I'm not going to give the show a score out of 10 because I haven't seen all of it and I don't think that's fair. But I'm feeling good about it. Not great, not bad, just pretty good. It's not blowing me away. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's perfectly fine. And I think people should probably give it a try if they're fans of Futurama. And if you have never seen Futurama, start the show from the beginning. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you all for the support on my review of Clone High that went up, I think 2 weeks ago at this point, maybe 1 week ago. I honestly do not remember because it's been very, very busy for me here as of late with moving and whatnot. I have not made it over to my new apartment yet, so I'm still in moving mode. That's a very long story that maybe will come out when I'm finally moved over there, but for right now, it's just scrambling time. So I do really appreciate the support. Let me know what you think of the Futurama Revival in the comment section below, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.